that ever enters your mind? I mean, I know obviously you guys are going to be doing testing as you normally do in your fights, but does it ever enter in your mind knowing that he does have that history?
I don't really like to talk on what people have done, but as long as for me, he's signed up to his anti-doping regulations and following the right protocols, and they're doing his tests, and he fights me, no problem. You know, he's clean for me. I don't care about what he's done in his past or who he's sleeping with, who he's texting, who he's found. That's none of my business. My business is that for the next 13 weeks that he's clean, he's preparing legitimately, and we have a good fight.
Just looking at him, is he similar to anyone that you fought in the past, or is this going to be like a brand new, totally new challenge?
This is a brand new challenge. Let's say maybe Takam, you know, a bit more explosive than Takam. So yeah, but it's new. This is a new territory. You know, Martin was one territory to Molina, Klitschko to Parker, and now we're going towards the Povetkins and Wilder. So they're all new territories that we're entering. Like the zone is a new territory as well.
You mentioned, you know, being respectful. Obviously, when you guys were getting ready to do the face-off, Big Baby Miller jumped up there and was popping off behind you, and that's the first time I've seen you get that animated since I think the Dominic Brazil fight. That whole situation. What was it that kind of made you, you know, switch into fight mode? Basically, I mean, did he say something to you? Was it just the lack of respect he was showing because you were there for another opponent?
I'm there for another opponent. You know, you've turned up late. You know, you just come on stage and he's running his mouth slightly behind me. And this is the fight business. You know what to expect. This isn't chess. You know, this is a ballet. This is a ballet. This is fighting. There's egos involved, big guys, and there's a lot on the line. So I understand, you know, his point of view, but he should also understand mine. If you talk, you're going to get spoken back to, and that's just all it is with me.
Does that bother you though when guys are disrespectful? You seem like you carry yourself like a gentleman. You know, you like you really want to, you know, carry the sport like that. I mean, does that bother you when you see other guys? I mean, whether it's other heavyweights, whether it's other fighters that are like, does that kind of get under your skin a little bit?
No, it's each of their own. But what they got to remember is that we all come and go. We don't last forever. So don't get too used to these flashing lights and stuff like that. Trying to clout chase and make yourself heard, because sooner or later, no one. Like, the only reason they let half of us through this door is because we're fighters. One day we won't be fighters. So just like show some respect on your way up, because on your way down you're going to need people. So it don't really bother me, because I just know the process and what this is really about. And people like him just need to humble themselves and don't get too caught up in the moment, because it don't last forever.
Are you mindful of that when you mention that this doesn't last forever? So when you're looking at your career, when you're deciding fights and things like that,
you don't interview me because of me. You interview me because of what my title is. The title will always stay there. Someone else will be a champion. Someone else will be a champion. Someone else will be a champion. But there'll just be one me. Like, I'll have to fade off. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I just know what it is. Like, people don't like bring me drinks or order me cabs because it's me. It's because I'm a champion. So when I am not a champion anymore, I would have to go and order my own cab and get my own drink. Right. So you can't get too caught up with the hype and what it is, and just see if what it really is. But maximize while you're doing it, understand and plan for when you're not doing it, and treat people with respect, because character speaks more. It's so important. You know, who you are is important, not what you are. Who you are is more important.
Obviously, I have to ask you about the whole Deontay Wilder situation. I'm sure some people are probably going to be mad at me if I don't ask every single question that they're dying to hear answers to. But I did have just a couple questions regarding that. The $50 million offer, you kind of addressed it out there, how it was part of a much bigger interview, and people are taking it out of context.
Okay, imagine like this interview now, you take a 30-second clip and you sum up the whole interview, and it's like, you can't do that. You can't just take a quote from an hour interview and say, oh, well, he said that and that's what it is. What about the part before and what about the part after? There's always two sides to a coin. So ultimately, $50 million, I don't like to talk about finance, it's a lot of money. It's a hell of a lot of money. So with that being said, I was just like, show me the money. But unfortunately that didn't come through. or show me the general offer. So with the money comes an offer. This is what you have to do for that 50 million. So I was waiting for an offer, and things just take a long time with certain people. They're not punctual, and with the belts, each belt has an individual governing body. There's 4 belts there, so there's 4 governing bodies, and they all have a ranking system. And the number 1 of the WBA, I have a time frame. March 31st, I fought Parker, and 3 months after that, I have to schedule my next fight. And where Wilder wasn't scheduled, I have to fight my mandatory challenger, and that's why the fight didn't happen, because the negotiations weren't signed and sealed in time. And if I want more time, I have to give up my belt, because they're saying that. We say, give me more time. What they say is the fight signed? Oh, we're working on it. They're a governing body and a corporation that need to run their business. So I followed my rules, and I decided to fight Povetkin because I want to hold on to my belt.
I know Eddie has said this time and time again that you guys are in constant communication about everything that's going on. And actually, contrary to popular belief, Eddie Hearn is a distinctly separate person than Anthony Joshua. They do and can exist in the same room at the same time. Yeah. But I'm sure he was telling you everything that was going on with every step of the way. What were you kind of thinking when you saw Deontay jump on social media and make comments and just get like real nasty?
You gotta know, like people's characters. Like, as I said, after I fought Klitschko, he was at my fight working, and was like, man, this is unbelievable. I need to be doing this in the States. I need fights like this. I really respect what these guys have done for boxing. And then after you know, I fought a week after him, or a week before. So when he fought, remember, that was like all this time, like I fight every 3 months or something like that. So after that, I was fighting Takam, and then he was like saying, started calling me out. I want to fight Joshua. I said, Eddie, has he been in touch with you about me fighting? Because it was only last week he was saying that how amazing it is, and he wants to do this in the States. So he said, no. But I said, well, let's get in touch then and see if this is real. And we've been in negotiations since the Takam fight. So. As I said, like, it's been a lot of talking and back and forth, but sooner or later, it has to come home, and that's why we booked the date. It's a lot of pressure because I've booked 2 dates in, not to overlook anyone, but to solidify my position and say, this is where I'm trying to go and this is what I'm trying to achieve. September, win. April 13th, you have the undisputed championship of the world already in place, lined up. People are talking about it. You know, sign the contract, the ink dries. Wilder signed the contract, the ink dries. We put that away, and there's no more talking. So my view on it, that's why I set it up now, is because I don't want to get to a stage now where we wait till January next year and it's all right, let's get the talk started with Wilder. And it's another situation where 3 months pass and no fights organised. So I've planned ahead, and it should be done. He's got more than enough time to make up his mind now.
Does that kind of turn you off a little bit when you're dealing with an opponent who can be that disrespectful? Does it make you kind of say, do I really want to do business with this guy?
It's never personal. Never personal. It's business. Everyone just deals with it differently. So, you know, we can make bread together, but I'm going to knock you out. This is what the job we're in, isn't it? We do business, but ultimately I want your blood. So, it's never personal, it's just business, but it's just how we operate in our division is we fight it out and we shake hands after.
I asked Eddie earlier on, and he basically told me that there's no starting over from scratch. The offer is the offer.
Yeah, you agreed the offer. Certain points you didn't agree, and we looked and we've added them in and we've taken other ones out. But the offer was the offer and you've agreed. Why now you want more all of a sudden? So that's another issue. So do you know what I mean? Is it a payday? Like, is it someone wants just a financial boost? Go to the bank and get a loan. Pay it off when you fight me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, just be realistic. Stop talking about money, because there's enough of it on the table for everyone to eat. Let's focus on getting this fight. Because providing you win, if you want to go to the land of the rags and the riches and all that stuff, you're one fight away from it. Providing that you get in the ring and fight.
I know there's been some rumblings that you guys have had communications behind the scenes. Was it just text messages, DMs and stuff like that?
No, just an email.
Oh, really? Can you reveal? I mean, you don't have to tell me exactly what was said.
Do you know what it is?
Just
DMs as well. Do you know what it is with him? I do more listening. I don't talk much. and he don't understand our setup and how we operate. So he was trying to talk on my situation. You need to do this, and this is who you need to speak to. Why are you trusting him? And to explain to someone who thinks they already know something is wasting my time. So I just kind of said, we have our ways of operating and dealing with business, and you have yours. Hopefully we can meet in the middle and get this fight made. No, I don't send like paragraph when I already know someone's mindset. It's just wasting my time. So I just said that, look, we have our way of dealing with business, and you have yours, and let's meet in the middle to get this fight made.
If you guys were in the same room together,
yeah.
Obviously there's no tension, there's no, if you could just say one thing to him to make the fight a reality, what do you think you'd say? I'll give him my pen and say, sign the contract. It's true. Is that?
Yeah, it's not. Listen, as I said, it's not difficult to make a fight. It's difficult to make a fight when you don't want to fight, but it's not difficult to make a fight when you really want to fight. So, as I said, I always said, I've dealt with champion when I first had a chance to fight for the title. I've dealt with world title challengers, and I've dealt with current champions. I've dealt with legendary champions, in terms of negotiating fights. I'm saying, not fighting, just negotiating fight. So why is this situation shouldn't be any more difficult? It's the same principle, same ring, same one referee, opponent in the other corner, 5 of your team members in each corner, and then a stadium and a broadcaster to show it to the world. It shouldn't be difficult. So that's why I say I'll just offer the pen and say, why don't you sign the contract? Because it has your name on it, maybe a different date and location, but it's very similar to the rest of the champions I've faced, and they were all happy. So why is it different with you? That's all.
One last one. Is there anything you would tell American fans that might be siding with Wilder, or frustrated, think you're ducking?
I think they should side with Wilder. It's competition. You have to choose sides. You're on the A side, you're on the B side. East, West, North, South, you have to choose your sides. But ultimately, they will always respect us both. But you have to choose sides. So be it. If you're backing Wilder, roll with him till the end. Don't switch. Don't switch when times get tough. You got to roll with. You got to back your man till the end. You know what I'm saying? So it's good that he's got his support, because it creates a real intense environment for an undisputed championship fight. So I'm happy that he's got his people riding with him, because I'm sure the Americans who love boxing want to see the title, the big fights back here as well, and they're backing Wilder to do that, and I'm the man in the way.
That's what's up, AJ. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
Anything you want to let the fans know? Any secrets that haven't been put out there? You want to sign us off? Whatever. A rap? Anything?
A rap.
You got one?
The new broadcaster is called The Zone. I'm about to catch a flight to England. I'm going back home. I've got to start training camp. I'll fight soon. AJ's in the house. I'm leaving the room.